Pump up the boobs a little bit, because 8th house, baby. All right, people. We're doing the 8th house. Today, we're diving into the 8th house, like it's the hidden boss level of your natal chart. And I've got a new perspective about it to unpack. But first, let's set the stage with some old school astrology. The ascendant is your front door, your default vibe that everyone else sees. The mask you wear when life throws you into the ring, and the behaviors that work best for you. Traditional astrology says it's your personality's starting point, how you tackle the world, shaped by the sign rising over on the east horizon at your birth. It's not just a pretty face, it's your survival kit. Now, the 8th house? That's the spooky basement that nobody wants to visit. Traditionally, it's ruled by Scorpio. Did somebody say Scorpio?
You look like you're having fun.
And it's all about transformation. And it's all about transformation, death, rebirth, shared cash, and those messy, sexy, scary topics like intimacy and other people's secrets. People can't get enough of this scorpionic stuff. Death, sex, power struggles. It's like astrology's horror movie section. Everyone's fascinated, whispering about it like it's cursed. And everybody wants to have a Scorpio placement in their chart. Even if it's Pluto, and like millions of other people on the planet have a Pluto in Scorpio out there. That's not a real placement. Pluto in Scorpio is not a real placement. Stop it. Stop it. You know, it's everyone's fascinated, whispering about it like it's cursed. But yet they all want Scorpio placements. They all want to be a Scorpio sun or Scorpio moon or Scorpio rising. And, you know, people talk about their Scorpio Mercury and Venus and Mars. And they go all the way out, you know, when there's like some sort of Scorpio. The cat's yelling at me. Can I help you? Anyways. Everybody wants to talk about, like, you know, even like they have Pluto in Scorpio or something like that. And I'm just like, come on. It's like in these astrology groups, they have these posts. Oh, well, if you have Scorpio placements, it means you're a sexy devil god. Jesus Christ. No. Pluto in Scorpio does not mean you're a sexy devil god. It means you're a millennial. That's what it means. That's what it means. Pluto and Scorpio generation are millennials. Pluto and Libra are Gen X. Pluto in Sagittarius are Gen Z. Yes, that's how it works. It does follow astrology. But anyways, everybody wants Scorpio placements. But let's be real, the scary Scorpio label is hilarious. What? Y'all don't want to go through the grueling, life-changing, ego-breaking process to change for the better? The 8th house is where the real action happens. And it's in conjunct, quincunx, to the ascendant, sitting 150 degrees away. That awkward angle means that they don't naturally vibe. It's kind of hard, and they're like cousins who only talk at family reunions. It forces adjustment, a stretch to bridge your surface self with those deep, hidden layers. And that tension that you feel, that I don't want to do this because I just keep forgetting to, it's your cue to evolve. Here's the realization you need. Your ascendant might limit you with its quirks, but the 8th house, with its Scorpio edge plus the sign it holds, offers a hack to flip the script. Figuring out what best trait of the sign in your 8th house that you need to exemplify will unlock your life and even potentially your money opportunities, because we are dealing with the 8th house of other people's money. And it will move so quick and so easy. If you don't know what sign is in your 8th house, run on out to AstroSeek, enter in your birth data with an accurate birth time, and boom, now you know. So keep on listening. I would love to see a bunch of people suddenly figuring it out and no longer suffering through their lives. I'm going to go through every rising sign. I'm going to spill the good and the bad of each, and then show how grabbing the best traits of your 8th house sign in your natal chart turns life into easy mode. Let's roll. Aries Rising, Your 8th house is in Scorpio, so you naturally appear as the bold ram, charging life head first to get stuff done. Good stuff. I mean, you're a go-getter, fearless, natural leader. You are not concerned with the consequences, so overthinking and fear of failure is not your thing. The bad news is that impulsiveness can crash you into walls, and your temper's a wildfire. I'm sure that you have experiences where your impulsiveness and temper really threw some chaos into your life and messed up some stuff that you didn't want messed up. That is a hard lesson to learn. So let's turn and look at your 8th house, Scorpio, which says to utilize that destructive ability that you naturally have wisely. Hold that temper in like a Scorpio. Let that fire burn within you. And review new actions a bit slower. Not Taurus, go to sleep and think about it later slow, but Scorpio slow, which is like the in-between of Aries fast and Taurus's speed of smell. So think about those consequences and really decide if that's something you really want to deal with. Ditch the reckless moves. This will open up easy mode. You'll stop suffering hard consequences of your tempestuous outbursts and impulsive decisions that sound good, but aren't really thought through. Taurus Rising. Your 8th house is in Sagittarius, so you naturally appear as a steady bull, loving comfort and routine. The great part is that you're reliable, patient, and grounded. People really lean on you when they need a rock in their life. The harder part is that stubbornness and fear of shifting and being adaptable can glue you to a sinking ship. You have a serious fear that it's all going to go to hell if you change it all. It's like an OCD, where if you don't lock that door 3 times in a row, the bad guys will get you. So, Sagittarius in the 8th yells, "Explore life without fear, you bump in a log!" Let go of the couch grip. Expand your horizons by exploring outside of your comfortable behaviors and places, and let shared ventures with others flow. This will unlock life on easy mode. You'll finally get those opportunities you actually wanted, discovering more happiness and comfort than you could have ever imagined. Gemini Rising, your 8th house is in Capricorn, so you're the chatty twin, full of ideas and love to just generally experience as much of life as possible. You're witty, adaptable, and a communicator. You guys can be the glue that holds groups together. A potential hard spot about this is that scattered thoughts and ideas, think, squirrel, can cause you to lose valuable relationships with people or situations as you leave them hanging to pursue something else that captured your attention. I'm sure you have experienced this at least once in your life, where you moved on from something without real thought behind it. And then when your attention circled back months or years later, they were doing amazing, and you weren't a part of it. So Capricorn in the 8th says focus on discipline. Learn to think fully through the project you're looking at and decide if it's worth putting a lot of energy into, and have a laser focus on the goalpost. Drop the mental ping pong, focus on structure, and your financial shifts will stabilize. This unlocks easy mode. Your consistent search for everything you can possibly get your hands on will present you with the opportunity. That's a given. But the key is to stick with it. Cancer Rising. Your 8th house is in Aquarius. You come across as the emotional instigator of the zodiac. The great part about this is that you're nurturing, intuitive, and loyal. Not afraid to express those emotions because F them, right? The hard part is that you require that they express the same things back. The same love, devotion, and care that you have for them. And if they don't, which may be often because they have a different rising sign or style than you do, you get upset and start to question your worth. Clinging to this idea that your worth is attached to their emotional expression toward you can drown you, okay? Aquarius in the 8th says for you to detach from their expression. Make it so it doesn't matter. Express your emotions and cares because you have emotions and cares and you want them to know it. Not because you might get the same behaviors back. Understand that if they don't like what you're doing, they will tell you. No news from them does not equal bad news. Let go of the expectation and relationships will ease up. This sets up your life on easy mode. Trade tears and insecurity for teamwork. Leo Rising. Your 8th house is in Pisces. Outwardly, you are the roaring lion, loving the spotlight, your attention on what other people think and how they will react. You're confident, creative, and warm. The hard part about this ascendant is that Leo generally has the ego the size of the sun, and ego trips can burn bridges. So when I say ego is the problem, it means you're focusing only on you and what you get out of other people. It's very vampiric sometimes and creates massive insecurities if your audience doesn't react the way you expected them to. Pisces in the 8th whispers, flow with you. You show off. Do what makes you feel authentically happy. What you would do no matter if you would get a round of applause or likes from the audience or not. Surrender to the intuition of who you are and your life will move far more smoother. Easy mode is unlocked when you swap the attention vampire energy for authenticity. Virgo Rising. Your 8th house is in Aries. You are the vision of a detail-obsessed analyst who loves to clean the house or declutter to relax. You're precise, helpful, and practical. However, a fear of failure can paralyze you, like I've felt as a fellow Virgo Rising. We Virgo Risings want to be perfect, and perfectionism is exactly the problem that we have. We shut down and don't even get involved unless it's a guaranteed win. Aries in the 8th house shouts, act now and who cares if you win or not, you warrior! Letting go of perfection, being willing to just take the journey even if you suck at it, and charge forward boldly even when you think they are just going to cancel on you. You can handle it if it is a fail. Trust that you absolutely have the capability to stand back up if it doesn't work. It doesn't mean you are not worthy of love. This opens up easy mode in your life. You'll realize just how much you have held yourself back just because you thought you weren't good enough at it and were afraid of failing. Libra Rising, your 8th house is in Taurus. You come across as the peacemaker with a smile. You're charming, fair, and diplomatic. You want to make sure everybody feels heard. The hard part about this is that people-pleasing can erase you. Your opinion disappears. You don't want to take sides because it causes people to eventually not trust you because you don't have an opinion. Taurus in the 8th says, stand firm, you pushover. Become like a boulder. You can help people feel heard, yet focus on what actually needs done. Scheduling that wedding is not up to the uncle of the brothers-in-laws. Know what actually matters and hold firm on what needs to happen, and trust that you know how to handle it when people realize you are not a pushover. Dropping the need to appease will build worth, and then intimacy stabilizes. Life on easy mode equals swapping harmony for steadfastness. Scorpio Rising, your 8th house is in Gemini. With that bad RBF you've got, you come across as the intense scorpion with a sting. You're passionate, resourceful, and deep with that ability to dedicate yourself to projects you are invested in. However, control freak tendencies exhaust you. You tend to stick with one thing as long as it's working out for you and hide yourself in a little hole with the words of, everything's fine. You are far more willing to tear something down when it's not working, but when it is working, you lock yourself into a tunnel vision of what will work and refuse to acknowledge that there might be other options. Gemini in the 8th says, lighten up and broaden your horizons, you brooder. Let go of the control grip, chat it out, and your burdens will lift. Life on easy mode means trading RBF stars for stories and others' experiences that might actually work for you. Sagittarius Rising, your 8th house is in Cancer. You come across as a free-spirited adventurer. You're brave, optimistic, and wise in your life's journeys. However, restlessness avoids roots. You are constantly moving and innovating, so you struggle with emotionally connecting with the different situations you insert yourself into, causing you to bail whenever things might remotely get hard. And then you complain that your life kind of seems to lack emotional meaning. It's because you keep leaving. Cancer in the 8th says, take time and nurture, you wanderer. Drop the runaway act. Build strong ties, and then your resources will flow. For life on easy mode, swap the hard road for a home. Capricorn Rising, your 8th house is in Leo. You come across as the serious goat climbing the mountains of the corporate world. You're disciplined, ambitious, and reliable. However, your grim, serious focus can really grind you down and make it so that you don't love life at all. What's the point of all this work if you can't love what you're doing? Leo in the 8th roars, "Have some fun, you workhorse!" Let go of the grind, live a little, and then your legacy shifts with ease. Life on easy mode by trading duty for laughs. Aquarius Rising, your 8th house is in Virgo. You come across as the quirky visionary that does what they want without consideration for what others think. You're innovative, independent, and forward-thinking. However, your detachment from how your actions affect others can isolate you. Virgo in the 8th says, "Pay attention to how other people are affected, you dreamer!" Drop the aloofness, get realistically practical, and then your partnerships will click. Life on easy mode involves you swapping out the self-absorbed cloud for a cause that truly helps people. Pisces Rising, your 8th house is in Libra. You come across as the dreamy fish swimming away from anything that doesn't vibe with your healing journey. You're compassionate, imaginative, and empathetic. However, escapism can really sink you. Pisces placements are well known for not taking accountability for their own actions and not caring what other people think about their movements. It comes across as really unfair to people. So Libra in the 8th says, "Balance your dreams with reality, you floater!" Let go of the Neptunian fog that keeps you in the clouds. Seek fairness, and crises in your life will smooth. Life on easy mode involves swapping the watery idea tide for a solid, fair treaty. And there you have it. The 8th house as your life hack, bridging that weird inconjunct gap with your ascendant. Scorpio's traditional grip on this house loves the drama. Death, sex, money. But it's less boo and more grow up and deal. Embracing your 8th house sign's strengths turns those limits into launch pads. Test it in your chart. Watch it in transits, like my Aries 8th house chaos with Neptune and Saturn retrograde. And let me know in the comments how it hits. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. To connect with me further, check out AtlantisWaites.com.